You're listening to a Count Out Podcast.
So Curtis, I just checked the calendar and it is day to date a month since we released our last episode. And I feel like I've been wearing pants for this last month because I've been a coward about podcasting. And that's not true in the sense that I've fucking been running
You've been rugging cowardly
myself
pants.
ragged with everything I've been doing in my normal life and with the other podcast. But there's been a few moments where in the clutch, you and I just strapped on some pants and went, you know what, let's do it next week. And that next week went on for 4 weeks, bro.
We were the most cowardly pants. Like, you know what's funny? After our last episode, we were like, do we got more to say about the G1? Fuck yeah, bro. Let's just go. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
It's like...
Fast forward 1 month later.
1 month later.
Yeah, that's what it was like. But bro, I mean, to be fair to the listeners out there, we did do like a month of straight podcasting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that took its toll.
We fucking burnt ourselves out and took one episode off, which just so happens because we are a fortnightly, bi-weekly episodic audio program, turned out to be a fucking month.
I know.
And oh my, I see a little cloud monster right behind you.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason
wanna
we've been
introduce the
delayed.
world?
I am sorry to immediately interrupt you, but my new co-host, Mochi, just did a shit on the carpet, which is fucking awesome.
No.
So one
I
moment,
love the way you
please.
said that, by the way.
Hang on, one moment,
She
please.
just did a shit on the carpet.
She did a fucking shit on the carpet, Governor. All right, 1 second. Mochi, now.
Oh, I can see it right now. It's about the size of, if you're in America, maybe like a 50-cent piece, a 50 pence piece. Mochi, by the way, is the cutest little thing in the world. A fluffy little cloud of a dog. Rafe looks like he's wearing He-Man versus Skeletor pajamas. I am insanely jealous of that. He's got a little puppy. I also have a puppy, but he's more of a baby. He's my rotten soldier, my sweet cheese, Frankie, who is snoring away by my feet. So if you hear him, I apologize. But now I see that he has gotten rid of the poopy. He is back. He's got Sweet Mochi in his lap, and he's ready to podcast now. So here he is, your friend, my hero, Rafe Houston. Rafe Houston, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm not editing any of that out. It's important that the people understand the reality of podcasting. But you know what? I thought, well, she couldn't fit any more shit out of her body. Turns out she still had at least one in the chamber for me while the podcast was happening. But
yeah,
but yes. So
at least she did it. She did it in front of me and not in front of like fucking Mickey Knuckles or something. You know.
That's true. That is true. I'm trying to think if she has met any wrestlers yet. She has. She met the Kirks while they were driving to a baseball game. But she didn't do a shit there.
Oh, yeah, I saw you just dropped an episode with the Kirks just the other day, didn't you?
Yes, which was very fun. The reality of like interviewing American wrestlers is I like got up at like 4 a.m. to do that interview on like a weeknight to knock it out. You know what I mean? So it ends up.
I remember.
Oh, sorry.
We did a episode with yourself and my friend Shane Campbell on my other show, and it was just halfway through the afternoon for me. It was first thing in the morning for Shane, and it was what 3 a.m. or something for you.
Yeah, it was chaotic. But I mean, I can't talk. You essentially, like, what time is it there now? You always like podcasting in the middle of the night. Admittedly, you work
It is
night work,
1
so
a.m.,
it
bro.
is your schedule. But yeah, it's yeah, a new puppy is an entirely new thing to navigate while trying to do this kind of stuff. Because Twinkle, our last dog, who tragically passed away this year, she was well trained in it. In my very early episodes, you hear her little voice a few times, but she would just like lay on my lap or like sit on the couch and stuff. But Mochi don't know the rules yet, and she going to do whatever the fuck she wants. She is a fucking heretic, and she doesn't care.
Yeah, you can't control her. You can only hope to contain her.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
That's
She's
the way it
literally
works.
trying to bite apart her bed at the moment. Anyway, I've derailed the show immediately, which is kind of our vibe, if I'm honest.
This is a pro dog show.
So yeah, we clearly have not lost our magic in the last.
This is a pro dog show.
Pro dog.
You're gonna hear Machi boofing away at something, trying to chew on a toe or something like that. You're gonna hear Frankie snoring.
Mm-hmm.
You might hear Frankie eating a carrot really loud.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter.
Yeah, and
This is a
you
pro
know
dog
what?
show.
If you're
Deal
not
with it.
about it, if you don't like dogs, then turn it the fuck off. They're an amazing.
Dogs are the
creature.
shorts of animals.
They are the shorts of animals. They're up to something as we speak.
Uh-oh. Is she got another crap on deck?
I don't think so. I think she just wants to try and like find wires to bite. But anyway.
Oh no. She's got toys, but she wants to bite wires.
Yeah,
'cause she's a
she
little demon.
wants
Oh
to
my
bite.
god. You just like turned around and she was sitting there watching you like fucking like some demon out of a fucking
like
Paranormal
fucking
Activity or
Children
something.
of the Corn or some shit where there's like a child at the end of the hallway. That was terrifying. Oh, hang on. No,
Soulless, all black eyes like a doll's eyes. Oh no, here we go again. Where's she going? She's behind the couch. Oh, we've lost her.
what's she doing?
Look at this. She can't weigh but like 3 pounds.
Yeah.
He's just picking her up with 2 fingers.
She's like, you know what would be hell fun if I climbed behind the sub and fucking just started gnawing on wires and maybe even got through this curtain and found more wires over behind that TV. She's being chaotic. She might find herself back in bed if she's not careful. But anyway, so New Japan.
She's absolute chaos. Hey,
we-
yeah. So how did you spend your summer vacation?
Yeah. So
Well, it's not summer there.
let's talk about it. It's been winter and it's kind of started to warm up a bit now, but let's be realistic. So G1 finishes, and usually for me as a New Japan fan, that may normally mean I don't tune in again till Wrestle Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like the way it goes, it's kind of we head into off season. World Tag League will come around, and I'll sort of keep an eye on it, but not
Super
historically.
Junior Tag League sometimes rears its ugly head.
Yeah, but it's like historically, Tag League ain't always that good either, like in the past. So I'll keep apprised of it and I'll check stuff out. And I'm always on top of like big events as they go, but I'm not watching Road 2 shows and things like that. Like there is no time. So it's been interesting because I've felt this like, I guess, obligation, even though we haven't done a show in the last month. I felt this kind of thing like I should be watching more New Japan. I need to be like know stuff for the podcast and things like that. But really, the more I thought about it and the more it became harder to try and fit stuff in, like I was tuning into some Strongs and I watched the first clap shows back and obviously watched Takataichi Despi Mania.
Takataichi's Despi Mania.
I only really saw the main event to tell you the truth, but like for obvious reasons. But like as I was watching this, I was like, I can barely fit this stuff in, and then I'm like, you know what, this podcast to me is just like our fandom of New Japan, and the reality is, I think a lot of listeners are in that same boat. So I think if anybody wants to like hear a breakdown of every single New Japan event or whatever, the Super J-Cast do that really, really well and do it the best. You know what I mean? I still listen to them every single episode they put out. And so I think for us, we just do our like own vibe and stuff and talk about where we're at, the stuff we're excited about, what we're looking forward to, what we have seen, and not really burden our souls with the, full coverage angle, even though we just did that with G1. And I'm sure we will do that again with, other tournaments and things we get excited about. I think you and I could just ride, our vibe, and then that way it's honest. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it will just fucking burn out. Just straight up.
That's the thing. That's why I didn't mind missing an episode, because it was like we fucking podcasted our asses off. We did, we did a 10K podcast. Like
Yeah.
we did the couch to 10K fucking version of podcasting. And directly after that, we had New Japan took 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So so did we. And you keep saying we took a month off. No. We took 1 episode off. It just so happens that we don't do this show very often.
That's true. And I guess it actually feels longer for us because that 1 episode, like the last episode that we did, we'd even recorded like the week before that. You know what I mean? And it didn't come out for like a week to 2 weeks. And so to us, it feels like it's been a super long time. But I mean, in reality, it's like, yeah, we've missed 1 fortnight, because this is a fortnightly show. So,
yeah.
So give ourselves a break.
Yeah, we got to definitely give ourselves a break because, well, let's hope that everyone else gives us a break too. I'm
not sure people care enough yet to need to give us a break.
That's also true. No. So, what have you been filling your time with? Obviously, the new puppy. So you've been podcasting your ass off for Faces and Feels.
Yeah, I showed Curtis my calendar the other day. He goes, when can we fit it in if we move it? And I go, here's a screenshot of my calendar, and it's like 14 interviews over 2 weeks. And he was like, what are you fucking doing? And I'm like, trying to kill myself audioly, I guess. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. A few of those ended up like I had to move them. I had to reschedule them for later and things like that, just because it became not realistic, like with everything that's going on amongst arranging all those interviews and working full time. My work has been fucked, man. Like we had 2 people go out with COVID, so they had to isolate for 7 days each, and we're already running a skeleton crew. I'm trying to hire another drum guy, so that's going on. We're running a full skeleton crew. I'm working day. I had to work a couple of days off just because there wasn't enough humans in the business. And so then I've got to cancel the interviews from then and move them to other places and stuff. Then the puppy comes. It's my wife's birthday. The puppy comes. And also at the same time, our good friends Connor and Nicole are leading towards their wedding. So last weekend, we both had Bucks and Hens nights we had to go to. We had an epic beer pong tournament that was very pro wrestling influenced, actually. I had been drinking with Connor and was like, we should just do it. It's like Money in the Bank and all this fucking bullshit. And then next thing I know, the Bucks group starts and it's like, hey guys, so this is the Bucks group. We're going to get together all the money and stuff like that. Rafe's got all the plans. He's had the idea for the tournament. So tell the guys what's up. And I look at the message. It's the next morning. I'm hungover and I'm like, what have I done? So then I'm involved with it. Then all the other stuff that happened, with our other poor dog, and things happened, and so I dropped out of it for a while. But then the last few weeks, it was now time to be involved again, And I was like, hey, bro, I'm here for you if you need it, to the best man. So got that all organised. Had that huge night. The night before was a huge night, and then now it's this weekend. Is today at 2 p.m. It's mine and my friend James. We always have a joint birthday party. It's our joint 40th today. Jesus, 40 years old, ready to die. Because our birthdays are a month apart. His is September and mine's October. So that goes today. And then tomorrow morning I have a very important interview for my own podcast. But I was not going to miss hanging out with you, as it's been, like we said, 4 or 5 weeks since we've had a chance to hang out. What have you been doing?
Nothing much, man. Mostly I just sit around and wait until I can talk to my friend Rafe again. It's fine.
Just sits in front of the computer for days.
Yeah, it's like SpongeBob and Patrick. What are you doing? I'm not here. I just wait for you to come back.
You've got a drawing of me that you've drawn on paper that you just stick on the screen, and it's just like, hi Curtis,
it's
and
a
you just
circle. It's a circle with a nose and some eyes that, well, they're not even eyes, they're just glasses. They're big, thick glasses and a beard.
Sounds accurate.
It's the Rafe version of Wilson from Castaway. That's no. I've
It sounds good.
oh yeah.
No, you
I've
keep
been
going.
doing a lot of mini painting. I've been podcasting with my other podcast, the Smart Foundation podcast. That's gone weekly now, so I've been editing a lot more episodes of that. Um, my co-host Grant on the Throw and Dice podcast, we've been painting up a whole lot of stuff recently for what we want to do is actually do what's called battle reports for a YouTube channel. We're going to
I know
start
what those are.
playing games.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. So we're going to start playing games, filming those games, and commenting on them and things like that, and releasing them to the public as something that we can do as a podcast to try and diversify our bonds.
Yes, that's fun. So get your stonks in now.
Get the stonks in.
Yeah,
to the moon.
That's super fun.
Actually, I've got an example of what I've been
Yeah.
doing recently. I painted. It's a taco truck with a Deadpool theme. So it's got a little Deadpool.
Yeah,
and he's enjoying a taco.
Uh-huh.
And it's on the little board here. It says like tacos, 1 for $2 or 3 for $5. And then there's like sides and stuff like that up here. And of course, because it's Deadpool, there's just blood splashed all the way across it.
That's fun. Is that like an official Deadpool taco truck, or did you find something and make it up?
Nope, that is an official Deadpool taco truck. It came for the game Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yep.
Which is a game that I love and Grant is fucking obsessed with.
Uh-huh.
And I guess I'm a little obsessed with it too.
I think you're obsessed with it. You've talked about it every time I've spoken to you since it existed, so I would say you are.
It's the fucking best, bro. You'd love it. I got an
like
entire X-Men team you can play with when you get here.
Yeah, there we go. That's good. My it's probably not surprising for you to know that my Emperor's children have not developed much since we last spoke. I got all my stuff there. I just need time. I don't know if the dog is going to allow me time to do any painting, but yeah.
The dog will not allow you time to paint. The dog is your chaos spawn and demands a sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. I did say she was a heretic. She might be.
She
might
is.
be a chaos.
And look at her. She's obviously Slaneshi.
She is Slaneshi.
She craves the sensation of like tummy rubs.
Yeah, exactly. She's like,
there's somebody listening right now who's like just loving this. Yeah. They're loving this 40K discussion on their fucking
New Japan podcast. It's a very small vein. It's a very small vein of fans that are lining together. Dog lovers, New Japan lovers, Warhammer 40K, all together. She does love pain and pleasure though, because while getting the tummy rub, she does like to bite me and draw blood at the exact same time. So
look at that. Look at that. You are such a liar. Look at that sweet little face.
She's waiting for a chance to kill. But anyway, so I think we can feel okay about things. I've let go of the guilt because I always want to give the listeners as much as possible. I want to fit in as much, and I feel bad because I'm like, Curtis is counting on me to do this, and then like we've had stuff. So, but I think we're both kind of in the same boat. And I mean, you were talking off mic that you might even see another little dog soon. So, I mean, it's just the reality of life, right?
It's true. We got a message today from just like 4 hours ago from a pug rescue that we had talked to, and they have a little French bulldog that's in desperate need of a home, and they think that we might be a suitable candidate to take on that beautiful little French bulldog.
That would be cute.
And I'm very excited. I got I got all the nose plugs that I'm going to need in the world, because having a French bulldog and a pug, that's going to be a farty place, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel bad for my wife. She's got asthma, so she's going to just live in the fart.
Hard enough not breathing as it is, like without that.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm sure they're
let's
little stinkies. One thing about her, I mean, you just
saw
a little shit happen, but like she doesn't smell at all. She actually barely makes noise, to be honest. I've only heard her little voice a few times. She just more lives in the blood and attacking, but she doesn't really make noise, which is pretty cute. Anyway, you were trying to put us back on track and talk about New Japan, so let's do that.
I'm going to tell everyone that welcome to the Okada Shorts podcast. This is we're the King of Shorts, the International Wrestling Grand Prix.
I guess.
I'm your good friend Curtis Spears. That's your bad friend Rafe Houston.
What up?
And yeah, welcome to the Okada Shorts podcast. So let's get talking. about some motherfucking New Japan. What do you say, huh?
I think that's a great idea.
Here's a-
Also, is 19 minutes and 47 seconds the longest we've gone before we've actually introduced the show?
The remake of Friday the 13th from like 2009.
Yeah.
It's like 19 minutes before, like the opening scene is like 19 minutes long before they get to the credits.
Oh,
the
there you
opening
go.
credits.
We're hitting those numbers. I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try and do a show where we don't introduce it until the last 5 minutes of the show.
If we set out to do it, we won't do it. We've just got to
just got to
go
let it
with the
happen
flow.
organically. Yeah,
It's getting
absolutely.
longer and longer every time.
You're correct. Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about first one thing that we missed while we were gone. The IWGP Women's title has been announced.
Yes.
It's a beautiful belt based on the IWGP Heavyweight title V2, the Scott Norton belt, the Shinya Hashimoto belt. It's an absolute banger. I'm really excited about this. The tournament begins at what? Royal Quest 2?
Who's going to be in the house?
Foggy London town. Your boy is gonna
live.
be fucking right there. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna meet up with a bunch of the London New Japan nerds, and we're gonna fucking geek out. They've only announced 2 matches. The first match is Jazzy Gabbert versus somebody from the local English scene.
Okay.
Not exactly who. Don't know exactly who. I can't remember because it's 1:30 in the morning. The other match that they've announced is the current IWGP Tag Team Heavyweight Champions, FTR, formerly the Revival, versus Aussie Open. I am fucking
killer. That is killer. Now, did I also no, I don't think it's been announced. I think there's been speculation that you might have like ZSJ and Naito. Is that right?
Oh, I'm into ZSJ and Naito.
Yeah, that's what somebody said that.
That has not been announced yet, but I'll take it. The thing about this is last time we did this show, Royal Quest, we did get an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match, Okada versus Minoru Suzuki. That was fantastic. It's one of the best matches I've ever seen live. It was an amazing time. I don't think we'll be getting an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match this time, unfortunately, because we do have an IWGP Heavyweight Champion, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match coming. God, things have changed a lot since last time they were here.
They have.
We do have that coming soon, with Jay White versus Tamatonga.
Well, at Royal Quest?
No, not at Royal Quest. It's going to be I think the 10th of October.
Yes. Okay then. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to see Jay White there, but it sounds like, I mean, they're already giving you a lot of value. Putting FTR in the building is pretty crazy. Like putting like an AEW tag team in there. So that's probably their big.
Jay White is going to be there. Hiromu is going to be there, which is exciting because I've never seen Hiromu live. Because he was not at the last Royal Quest. So that's great. I don't know what it's like. I've been to Rev Pro shows and things like that, and I've just never been to one that Hiromu's been at. So like, it's just never lined up.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for my first time to see Hiromu like live, and I'm hoping that they do something fucking wild. I would love to see. There's plenty of dudes here on the English scene that I would love to see Hiromu face as a junior. Michael Oku, the OJMO, is fucking awesome. Robbie X is great. He's a Rev Pro staple. Ricky Knight Jr., the current Rev Pro British Heavyweight Champion, would be fucking awesome. Plenty of dudes from the English scene. I don't know if maybe they'll just have Hiromu in like a throwaway tag match or something like that, but I would love to see Hiromu in a singles match for my first time seeing him. I've got a friend that I'm bringing who to the first night, Saturday night, Paul, shout out friend of the podcast, Paul.
What up, Paul?
He's a huge wrestling nerd. He loves, like, he's just started watching wrestling with his sons again. His sons are 8 and 11, I believe. And they over lockdown started watching wrestling together as a family. Like the whole family started watching Raw or something like that.
Yeah.
And he got the network, and he's showing the matches from when he was a kid and things like that. It's very cool. And he's kind of been like, hey man, give me some good matches to watch. And so I think one of the ones I recommended to him was like Shinsuke Nakamura versus Hiroshi Tanahashi in the G1 finals, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I really dig this Japanese stuff, but like he's like asking me to like kind of drip feed it to him, a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Wants to enjoy his refreshments out in the garden, and then come and sit down, chill, and watch a New Japan match. And I was like, you've graduated. It's time to see New Japan.
Yes.
It's
time to come live.
So he today was like, so who do I know from this? Like, what can you tell me? What matches can you give me? So I gave him like Hiromu versus Despy from the Best of the Super Juniors finals of 2020. The one where Despy's mask ripped and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I love that match.
He just stone cold just like wastes him and then just calmly puts it back on. It's the best.
I love it.
Yeah. Everybody thinks it's like, oh no, that's the turning point. He's just like, nah, player. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Any of the Will versus Shingo matches, Will versus Okada from the G1 final, I thought that was fucking fantastic. Just stuff to like let him kind of know who's going to be there and like where everyone's at right now. So I'm excited for it. I think he's going to have a hell of a time, and might get a new subscriber out of it. New Japan World, you're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Send my fucking check.
Yeah, exactly. Send the check. We'll take it. We've got the PayPal set up. We'll get it going.
Yep.
That's so exciting.
New Japan World can become members of the Count Out Podcast Patreon.
There you go. If you were New Japan World and you wanted to subscribe to the Count Out Network, just head over to the Patreon, and they can even like select the tier appropriate for them, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, if they've got a couple of bucks,
Exactly.
Not everyone has the money it takes to give us money, but I think New Japan World does.
I think they might. I mean, they've been taking mine for long enough. How about this? How about this scenario? What if they discount my membership in exchange for access to the Patreon? Now, I don't know if Countout would be down with that, but I'm just saying if they're doing like the $3 tier, but then I pay $6, that kind of vibe, I'm sure we could work out a quid pro quo kind of situation.
What does New Japan World, how much is New Japan World in Australian dollar dues?
It changes all the time depending on, exchange rates and things like that. But it usually from anywhere from like $11 through $13, $14, depending on how shit the Australian dollar is doing.
Yeah, the dollar do not very doesn't stand up very well against the American dollar, does it?
The dollary do can be dollary shit at times. But also there have been times when I have been to Japan where the dollary do has been kind of strong, which is pretty good. One moment, that dog's gone behind the fucking sub again. Hang on one minute.
It's gone behind the sub again. Son of a gun. Well, what do I do now? I've already vamped twice on this show waiting for the puppy. Oh, she's so sweet though. I can't even
I've created a wall.
Get angry. Oh, he's trumped her. He's trumped her. You trumped your puppy.
Yeah. I mean, she'll figure it out. She's fucking smarter than me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, another derailment. I'm not editing any of this. I'm so sorry, people, but I ain't got time.
She's fucking 3, not even 200 days old, and she's smarter than you.
No, she's like 12 weeks old. She's fucking running rings around me already. I'm fucked. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Mikey
you're an old
can
man now.
Maybe Countout will edit this for me.
They don't need to. Fuck it. Nobody listens to the show. It's fine.
Oh, that's not true. I know it's not true, but
we see the numbers.
I like to think that anybody that's listening to this regularly understands who we are as people now, and they're invested because of who we are as people, not because of our amazing New Japan content.
That's true. That's true.
Exactly. Anyway, Royal Quest, very exciting.
Very excited for Royal Quest.
And obviously we've got kind of stuff coming up here in Australia as well. None of which I'll be able to get to, unfortunately, but it's really yet exactly. You know what? When I'm in Melbourne in a few weeks, Shingo is in Sydney at like the same time. I just saw he's doing a show on the 21st. I don't think there's any way I can just like whip between cities like during that time because we've
How
got so
far
much
is
stuff
it?
play. Oh, I don't know. It's like closer than Perth to Melbourne. Let me do a.
Well, yeah, but
I'll do a quick.
Perth is closer to the fucking.
Fucking
Perth is closer to
Antarctica
outer
than
space than.
exactly. Now I'll do some maths for you while you talk about that a little bit.
I'm gonna vamp. Okay, here's a little downer. Meltzer, Stinky Uncle Dave, has said that New Japan wrestlers backstage, New Japan wrestlers do not expect Ibushi to ever come back. How do we feel about that?
I would say I'm not overly surprised. All right, it would take me 9 hours to drive to Sydney from Melbourne.
Oh, fuck no!
I'm sure a flight
that's-
would take like an hour, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Anyway, no, I think he's done with them. That said, though, it is pro wrestling, and anything can happen at any time.
Anything is possible. Can I just say I don't get this whole fucking thing. Like, okay, Ibushi hurts his shoulder, right? They try to rush him back from injury way too fast. They expect him to be back in time for the New Japan Cup.
Uh-huh.
He can't come back in time for the New Japan Cup, and because of this, he blames the company for his mother trying to commit suicide. Like, what? Where's the disconnect? Like, I don't. Am I missing something?
That wasn't there. She didn't try and do that until didn't the company release him or
They've not released him. He's under contract still. He's under contract as we speak.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't think it comes across that well in translation, and I'm sure that someone else could probably do this. But I think what's happened is someone's honor has been questioned, or respect and all those kind of things, and that has led to something bad happening. Also, his mum, from what I can see from documentaries and stuff, is like
she's an NJPW super
fan. And so all of that stuff happening and, the potential firing and all that stuff. Because he is still under contract. But remember, he thought he had been released because of, like, the way they said it. There was something about, like, messages like that. And he was like, well, if they're going to, release me, I'm going to talk about this shit, like something like that. So I don't know. I think when she thought that he'd been dropped in disgrace, it was too much for her to deal with. I don't really get it. I'm not really sure it should be in the public forum at all. But
it definitely shouldn't. It's not something that we as people should know. I'm sad. I love Ibushi. I'm really excited that he's hanging out with Kenny Omega in Japan the other day. That was great.
That was cute.
Good to see them together.
Yeah.
So that's lovely.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I hope he comes back, or I hope he wrestles again. I think he's trained way too hard. Like, I mean, he's built himself over his entire life to be what he is, so
the dude's a fucking golden god. Like, he's just a specimen.
Yeah.
And if he never wrestles, it's gonna be a goddamn shame. I know he's a little bit older. He's, for wrestling and stuff like that. I'll say for wrestling. He's not older in the game of life because he's younger than we are. But yeah.
He's like Rob Lowe in Parks and Rec, where he's like, I believe the human body could live to be 152, and I believe there is a person that will do that, and I believe I am that person. Like, that's who he is. You know what I mean? Like, his age does not matter because he's so physically conditioned that he could wrestle forever, probably, provided he doesn't, like, land on his neck one too many times, like... And even then, I feel like he's so well conditioned that his neck can't even break, so... So I feel, I don't know. It's wrestling, man. Anybody can come back anywhere. He'll be back in a ring. It's just whether it's a New Japan ring, So
yeah.
We'll have a look. It's a shit show either way.
Yeah. Well, let's continue to move on from there. El Lindemann defeats Dookie Doki in a title defense. My fucking phone auto corrected. El Lindemann
it's totally
defeats
fine
Doki
though. You've got Dookie on
in
the
a
mic
title
as this
defense
shit monster.
that was set up in Best of Super Juniors. What'd you think of this one? I love this one, man.
I didn't get a chance to see it, and I've got it there. I know it's on YouTube. It's in my watch nows, and I even started it a couple of times, but didn't get to finish it. Was it good fun?
It was very good fun. I mean, we both loved their Best of Super Juniors match. It was a bit grander of a scale than that. It was awesome to see Doki getting that kind of moment. Um, El Lindemann definitely, he's a star, dude. I completely see it. From everything you were saying, I was really looking forward to seeing him, and he didn't disappoint. And the title match that they set up, yeah, it fucking did not disappoint, dude. Glate's fucking rad.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it a lot.
I thought the whole presentation looked really cool. Like, yeah, it looked good, and I was really looking forward to see it because I think Doki deserves that treatment. And to that promotion and that crowd, he wouldn't have been coming across like, lowest flag on the totem pole Doki. He would have been coming across as like New Japan superstar Doki, which would be interesting.
Yeah, he definitely had a bit of fanfare behind him. It was really cool. And like Doki's got such a rad offense. I always say it like Doki's the kind of guy who people are going to look back on in like 10, maybe 15, 20 years. And they're going to say that guy was fucking breaking boundaries. That guy was doing shit that other people just don't do. That like, Too Cold Scorpio is one of those guys. Like people see Too Cold Scorpio shit from ECW in 1996 and they're like, that guy is fucking an innovator and shit. And like, that's what Doki is now. Doki is the kind of guy who has a beautiful offense. He doesn't get to use it because he's just pin eating in New Japan. And that kind of sucks because like he's a little fish in a big pond. But then when he goes to a place like Glate, he is, like you said, welcome back as a hero. He's New Japan superstar Doki, and he's not a pin eater. And I think he deserves that. He deserves a lot of recognition, and it was really cool to see him get that.
Absolutely, man. And I think the way New Japan is laid out and the way Suzuki Gun's laid out, like when you look at he's already treading a path like El Desperado did. You know what I mean? Where he was sort of that lower guy. And they bring him up and stuff like over time. And so I think like with everything you've said, I think there's just the path there for greatness. He just needs to get there. And like with everything with New Japan, it just takes time.
We need to love and respect Doki while we have him here, because like in a few years, like, he's not a young man, but he is an innovator and he's a joy to watch. And so like while we have him here, we need to realize what we've got. So
exactly,
that would be a thing. Hiromu is talking about juniors. The actual quote is juniors from all different companies. Is Hiromu teasing a new Super J Cup?
No, I think he's teasing stuff for the World Tag League, because you know how they're doing World Tag League / Super Junior Tag League. I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be like dream teams, kind of like they did with Best of the Super Juniors. I think there'll be a lot of that, like international talent, and it'll be I think he's teasing the tag thing. I think he's not going that far ahead. I think he's talking about the very next sort of big tour they're doing.
Okay. Can he
You're like, but can we talk? You're like, that's not the answer I wanted. Can we talk about what I wanted to talk about, which is a new Super J? Sure.
I want a new Super J Cup.
Yeah, you want a new...
Yes.
I think there's no reason it couldn't happen.
Aces.
Well, there you go.
I've
given him... I mean, you didn't really need to talk me into it. I'm totally up for it. I'm just saying I think he's talking about this thing. So I'm not sure why we're...
This is like, how you talked me into Tanahashi winning the G1?
This is not that.
These two, the same.
That was not the same.
1 and 1A.
You just went... But can we talk about that? And I went, yes. Like, it's not the same as running down an entire tournament through many brackets and convincing you from him being out in the first round to winning the title at Wrestle Kingdom. It's very different.
Calling it a victory.
You know what? Sure, the same. But yes, but why would I have been opposed to it in the first place? That is the problem. Like, why would I be like, you know what? I'm a staunch advocate that we should not bring it back. Like, there's no reality where that happens.
Don't fucking bring logic into this bullshit.
Anyway, I do think that would be awesome. You've convinced me. I think it would be
Yes.
great if they
Yes.
did another Super J Cup.
Tell me how Tanahashi's going to win the new Super J Cup. Go.
Right, so he's going to drop weight, right? You know he's good at really.
He's going to drop like 60 kilos.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
Do I need to talk to you into how he's going to win the World Tag League, or what?
Oh, who's going to team with in the World Tag League? Who would you like to see Tanahashi team with? I mean, usually teams with like Hanare. So.
Well, we'll get to World Tag League. Let's finish the Super J thought first, because you obviously want to talk about it, and then we're immediately onto something else. So tell me about it. So if they announce,
you harsh my mellow.
Yeah, I know, right? If they're going to do a Super J Cup, when are they doing it, and who would you like to see be in it? How many competitors? What are we talking?
Oh man. So when would they do it? They would have to do it after Wrestle Kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Do they do it after Wrestle Kingdom? They don't have time to do it before Wrestle Kingdom. So that's a thing.
One night tournament, New Year's Dash, Super J Cup. Let's go.
One night tournament, New Year's Dash, Super J Cup. Oh,
Bruh. Just like,
bruh. I love it. I'm in. I'm fucking
cool.
in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. I love
very
that
excited.
Shit. Oh my God.
If you guys could see his little face, he gets so excited.
I got so excited. So yeah, let's bring in juniors from all over the world. So basically that just means CMLL and AEW. There's a couple of
and Impact.
There's this and Impact. No, we would get all sorts of great people back. We would get Ace Austin and maybe Chris Bay, who might actually be a tag team in the Super Junior Tag League.
I would think that would be. Yeah.
Who else could we see? We could see someone the likes of Darby Allin, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why not.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
Daniel Garcia, Red Death Daniel Garcia. That could be fun. We did have the former Ring of Honor Pure Champion in the Best of Super Juniors. Maybe now we could get one in the Super J Cup.
Big Utes.
Big Utes. Big Shoots Utes.
Hook.
Shooter Uter. Oh, bro. Could you imagine Hook in a fucking Super J Cup?
Bro,
that'd be sick.
I think there's like legs in that. Like I think Taz would be about it. You know, like his history, like, you know, with martial arts and all that stuff. I think he'd be like, he's fucking going. You know, like that would be awesome. And he's so protected on AEW. It would be very interesting to see him do it. I don't think it would be like, if we're talking, you know, early next year. I don't think he's ready for that. Like, he's very well protected. But down the line, you could definitely see him branching out and stuff like that.
I think he would do it. Dude, I used to have a DVD of Chris Benoit's best matches. This is way before Chris Benoit, you know, killed his family and proved he was a shithead. But I used to have a DVD of his best matches. It was a WWE released DVD, but I got it because some of the matches they had on were like the Super J Cup from '94 and stuff like that. They had a match between Pegasus Kid and a great Sasuke, and like that. I mean, that was the original Super J Cup finals. Yeah. And they had that they had licensed and put on the DVD with commentary by Taz and Michael Cole.
Wow.
So like that was the shit. Did you know that Taz like fucking hates Great Sasuke?
I did not. Really?
I didn't either until it was a thing. He was just like, I don't like Sasuke.
Jesus.
Like he takes liberties with people. I don't fucking like it. It's like, shit, Taz.
On this
Tell us
WWE
about how Sasuke
TV.
kicked your fucking face off.
Jesus. Okay. Taz isn't the one to fuck with, like back in the day, especially as a killer, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, but like Sasuke ain't a fucking bitch neither, though. So, I mean, I saw the match with Sasuke and Dirt Bike Kid. Did you ever see that match?
No. What's the guy?
No. Okay.
That's a great name, though. Dirt Bike Kid. I like that.
Oh, bro. Fucking what a backyard garbage fucking name. So the whole thing was Michinoku Pro was doing a tournament of all masked wrestlers.
Okay.
And they had it was in England. There was a dude over here named Dirt Bike Kid and Dirt Bike Kid, who didn't normally wrestle with a full mask on. He wrestled with like a little like half mask breather like thing, dirt, which I guess is a dirt bike thing. Like wrestled in like the bike armor clothes that they wrestle in, which has to be uncomfortable as shit.
It wouldn't be great.
Anyway, so he's got a mask on for the tournament because it's an all-masked wrestler tournament, right? Very beginning of the match, Sasuke comes out, streamers, he's got his hood up, right? And he's like coming out like Clubber Lang and shit.
Yeah.
Dirt Bike Kid gets in the ring. The very first thing he does is pull his fucking mask off. And so you can just see Sasuke looking at him like, you fucked up. And Sasuke, like, he just kicks the kid in the head like 4 times, and the dude, like, the match is over.
Oh my God.
It was fucking awful. Sasuke was like,
just
you
shoots on
fucking disrespectful motherfucker. I'm gonna put you in the fucking dirt.
Oh my God.
And just like, Sasuke just fucking hands his ass to him. And it was I think it was over in like 45 seconds.
That'll do it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dirt Bike Kid had one last match after that and then retired. So,
yeah, you would.
Sasuke kicked his fucking will to wrestle out of his body.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
That's fucking so intense.
It's fucking
I
terrible.
kind of love it though.
Like Sasuke was like, all right, I'm going to show you how we fucking do it in the dojos in Japan, you disrespectful motherfucker.
It sounds like that dude had no business being in the ring with him anyway.
He was not a fucking impressive sight. Like he had one of, he wrestled in, like I said, the armored clothing that they have and stuff like that. So you couldn't tell that he had like a 10-year-old bird body.
Yeah.
And like he was just a skinny, like scrawny dude who was like a backyardigan. And fucking he got made an example of, and like it's not cool.
No.
But I fucking love Sasuke.
But it also is cool.
It's fucking cool though. Oh,
it's already happened. We can't go back. Justice for Dirt Bike Kid. I mean, nothing can be done.
I mean, we're not sitting here like I was gonna say we're not sitting here buying Great Sasuke shirts or anything like that. But I recently just bought a Great Sasuke shirt off of SPLX. So
you're like, I watched that match and then I immediately went and bought a shirt to support him.
I was like, this guy. Yeah, no, exactly. Like Sasuke. Like I'll go to bat for Sasuke. I don't give a shit. Like Sasuke versus Liger from the Super J Cup '94 is one of my favorite matches of all time.
Yeah.
Like when how we met actually when we guest hosted on the Super J Cup. The audio that I sent in was like a 5-minute essay that I wrote about the Liger versus Sasuke match.
Oh, really?
From '94.
You should send me that.
Yeah.
I've never heard your audition.
It's the very first episode of the fucking Smart Foundation, buddy.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Then I have heard it. I have listened to all the Smart Foundation stuff. Maybe I'm just not remembering it well enough.
You and 8 other people, man. So I appreciate that.
I know. I'm in it. I didn't send an audition tape. I was just like, check the fucking feed, bruh. And then
me and Robbie Eagles chilling out, bruh.
Yeah, exactly. Check out my interview with Robbie Eagles and shit.
Miller High Life.
You know how we do it, bruh. In reality, I had nice interactions with Joel and stuff in the past, and he actually told me how to host my podcast online because they use Red Circle. I messaged him like, hey, first time caller, like, how do I do this sort of thing?
Yeah,
and then I was like,
me down some Red Circle.
Yeah, and I sent him an email and was like, yeah, man, we haven't spoken in like a year or whatever, but since then I've dropped like 100 episodes, and like I was like, feel free
prolific.
Peep the feed, brah. And then that was it. And then he was like, hey, I really enjoyed the interview. Do you want to team up with this guy, Curtis? And I was like, I don't want to team up with some fucking loser.
Who the fuck is this asshole?
Curtis sounds like a fucking dickhead. And then we became friends on Facebook. And then I'm looking through your feed. I'm like, we're the same person, just living in different countries.
First impressions, they were like, here's Rafe. And I was like, looking at it, I was like, who's this motherfucker? All right, let's see. He's got a sweet beard.
This ranger dickhead?
That's cool, I guess. He's got a really pretty wife. He's going all these places. He's going to Japan all the time. It's like, man, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy and his perfect life.
Yeah, I'm like, and hang out with these fucking some fucking New Japan nerd. I don't need this. I'm above this. Says us both at the same time. I love that. That's so funny. So anyway, a Super J Cup would be awesome.
And since then, we've talked every single fucking day. So
yeah, cool. Exactly right. It's totally fine. We found a fucking hetero life partner, so it's good.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're fucking awesome. Yeah, so a Super J Cup would fucking rule.
That would rule. Anyway, that's enough speculation about the Super J Cup. If you think it would be a good idea, message us about it. Anyway, what's actually coming up in real life, though?
What is actually coming up in real life? Actually, let's talk about something that happened in real life. So not coming up in real life, but it was a birthday present to me.
Mm.
It was El Desperado versus...
Say it.
No. You want to talk about this? You Taka Taichi Despi Mania, El Desperado
versus Jun Kasai. Let's go.
Jun Kasai.
Let's go. Also, an early birthday present for me because this is like my two worlds colliding in the best possible way. I loved their match where Despi had his jaw broken before the Best of the Super Juniors. I thought it was badass, and then this was a culmination of that. And man, what a match! Like, it may be my match of the year. And like, I obviously watch a lot of death matches. I cover a lot of that stuff. I watch a lot of New Japan. But dude, this was pretty fucking amazing. I would love to actually hear it from your point of view to start, because you messaged me and you're like, my wife wants to watch Despi versus Jun Kasai and says she might like death matches. And I'm like, update me on this. I also watched it with Amy. So this is essentially watching death matches with our wives. The episode, what did she think? What did you think? It's a bit of a newer pool for you to swim in. How did you take it on?
I've said many times before on this show that I don't really dig into the deathmatch pool. Like it's something that's out there. I appreciate it as an art form, but it's like it doesn't light my fire. Okay, it doesn't blow my skirt up.
Sure.
This match did it for me though. Like, I don't know what was different. Maybe it's because of how much I love Despi, but like, or maybe, you know what? It might have even been Jun Kasai, because like Jun Kasai, I almost called him Jun Akiyama. I don't know why I just did that. Jun Kasai is, I'll say what my wife said about him. We're watching him, and she goes, "Vicious bastard." And like, she's just in love watching. She goes, "Oh my God, he's vicious." And I was like, yeah, he is. And like, maybe it was, he wasn't really like, neither of them was really playing the heel, Yeah. But like, he was that terrifying, like that vicious, that bloodthirsty, that it was like we were watching Desperado. Like I thought, I was like, I know Despi's not a fucking hack when it comes to deathmatch. Like, he's put the work in deathmatch. But like, I was worried. Like, this is, I literally, because maybe that's why I can't watch death matches, because like the whole time I'm just like, that's not gonna heal right.
Yeah, that's part of the magic of it though, because I'm not comfortable when I watch death matches. I don't want people to be hurt, but the tension that comes from that, and like the adrenaline as things, elevate and pick up steam and get more and more violent, and things go like the threat is very real. And you're talking about Despi stepping into the world, of the great white shark of death matches. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to his house and I'm going to fight him in his world, and I think that was sort of the magic of the match, because the threat to him was very real. And it's been proven to be a threat to him before.
Exactly. Because I straight up broke his jaw.
And so that's the thing that's happened.
Which did give us
knows.
Doki, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, that's the real threat. Is it somebody that's hurt him before, and here they are again, and the match gets cranking, and then he's immediately fucking under it. You know what I mean? Like you said, vicious bastard. He just comes for him and he's smiling the whole time and he's just bringing the punishment. And Despy's just fucking in danger, in serious danger. And it keeps elevating and keeps elevating. And you're seeing this guy, you know, his mask is torn away and he's bleeding and he's thrown around and he's just getting manhandled. And then it's not until he just fucking goes, no, like, and kicks out on one or whatever it is and just brings that fighting spirit and then starts to bring his style to him where he's like, oh, wait, I don't need to be you. I need to be who I am to beat you. You know what I mean? Like, I can beat you by being me. I don't need to be a deathmatch wrestler. I just need to be El Desperado, you know, and turns turns the tables on him and overcomes, you know what I mean? And that's where that escalation of violence lends to it perfectly. You know, like they used to say even back in the real old days, they were like, you know, blood makes money, essentially. You know what I mean? Red equals green. And this is a perfect example of how you do that in like the best possible way. Because the match wasn't about like what contraptions they went through or what happened. It was like an escalation of violence to a crescendo where the hero overcomes essentially his idol. You know what I mean? Somebody that he respects more than anything. And then all of that is made better by the fact that, you know, previous injuries and stuff like that, and then made even better by the post-match comments between them and the emotion that they're not afraid to show. You know what I mean? Like the very real thing. And it felt like Despy leveled up after this match. Like it felt like his character just went and just fucking went to like a next level. Like his story enriched even more because of it. And I just fucking loved it. Amy loved it. She's like, Jun Kasai really is my favorite wrestler. Like right now. She's like, you know, and she's got a few but she's like, he's something really special. And I don't think anybody that watches this match, say what you want about scars and about deathmatch stuff, and like watch Jun Kasai wrestle and tell me he's not fucking awesome. He's so fast, he's so vicious, his charisma is almost unmatched. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's just something so special.
Yeah, Jun Kasai, like like I said, he wasn't really playing a heel or anything like that. He was just being who he is. He's saying that, you know, I'm the lord of this domain.
Yeah.
And you know, come and take a go if you think you're hard enough. And you know, he was almost respectful of Despy. Like when he was on top, he was like, "You're doing good. You're doing really great, kid."
He's so calm.
Yeah.
You know, like he's just like, "Yeah, let's go through the motions and let's take you through this." Like, you know.
Yep. I'm gonna put you through this thing, and I'm gonna hit you with this thing, a fucking plywood board with cut open fucking aluminum cans on it. Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah,
that was gnarly. I was like, someone's gonna get punctured livers and shit. Someone's gonna get fucking shanked.
In the
tetanus.
Deathmatch Down Under Dream tournament, they had a match called an Only Cans match, and it was that. Like nothing but weapons with cut cans on it. It was fucked up.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Bro, like I've got an aversion to cut cans. When I was a little kid,
dude,
my dad took me out, and like my dad's an avid hunter, huntsman, and he was like showing me how to shoot a rifle. I was like 7, right? Show me how to shoot a rifle and stuff, and we shot up a Coca-Cola Classic can. And I got to keep it in my room, and like I got to keep it in my room for probably less than 24 hours before I cut the shit out of myself with that can. And I asked my dad what happened.
I
asked my dad what happened. I was like, what happened? He's like, you fucked yourself up with that can. Like you wouldn't stop playing with it, and you cut yourself real fucking bad. And I guess ever since then I'm like, no, I don't want none of that. I don't want any fucking part of that. And watching Despy go up and fucking land on that shit was just, oh God. You know, like when someone gets kicked in the nuts and you feel it, like you cringe.
Yes.
I felt that sympathy cringe.
Yeah.
When Despy, when anyone was going anywhere near those cans, I was like, egad, motherfuckers.
Yeah. And see, this is when Deathmatch is also at its best, when their weapons and stuff are based around things that you know and understand. You know what I mean? When you're like, oh, I've been there. Like, and that was bad.
I've
when
never
I
hit
just
with a light tube before.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. But that just looks spectacular and has like the noise and stuff. So that's crazy. But like I've hooked myself on barbed wire before. It's no joke. You know what I mean? I've cut myself on a can before. I've stood on a thorn. I've cut myself shaving. All these kind of things. And then when they go, okay, cool, so you've gone through this razor blade board. Now we're going to throw lemon juice on you. And so, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, no. Like, you're just in a state of terror. It's the same as watching like a horror movie or whatever. That adrenaline you get screaming about this and like being worried about it is what, like, when it's all over and all said and done and that like happens, like the catharsis of it all, you're just left going, whoa, that was an intense and a rush. And then you're sitting there and you're seeing these two men that like love each other have this conversation where fucking, Desperado's like, thank you so much. He's so grateful to have had the match with him and to won. And then Jun just like cuts this promo where he essentially says, for anybody who hasn't seen it, he essentially says, before this match, you said that you're willing to die to win this match. You're not afraid of death. And you're going to do whatever it takes, even if it costs you your life to win. And he's like, don't be a fool. He's like, you have so much to live for. You should be so proud of what you've done. You've built yourself into this. You've ruled that division, in New Japan. And he's like, and for you to say that you're not afraid to die, that's like disrespectful for your own life. He's like, you think I wrestle to die? He's like, I put myself through this to live, and it was so powerful, like the emotion when you watch him say it. And Desperado's like nodding and crying and realizing, and essentially says that he's learned a lesson. And he's like, and I'm going to fight to live, and I'm going to control the division again. I'm going to get my belt back, and I'm going to win the Super Juniors. And you just left going, let's fucking go. Like, it felt like he defeated a boss. And then now when we get to like the next stage, I think the Desperado that we see coming into what he's got next is going to be different, and especially when we hit Super Juniors. And it's going to be really interesting because he's taken moves from Jun Kasai before, like he adopted that punch after his jaw was broken. So now he beat him with his own finisher. I don't know what it's called or whatever. And so I wonder whether we start to see him use that finisher, when we get to a big title match or whatever, see him drop that as like a level up finisher, and I think Jun is obviously about it. They're obviously very close, and he obviously, supports him and has sort of gifted these moves to him and gifted him this storyline, you know what I mean? And he's essentially taking his credibility and his scars and like laying them on Desperado and making him even more battle hardened. And I think it's just fucking such good storytelling, man.
Yeah, dude. I couldn't have put that better. This is why when there's deathmatch shit, I'm like, we're gonna talk to Rafe, because this is that pulling that story out of the match is, I think, what everybody was kind of looking at. Like, a lot of people who don't normally watch death matches are going like, this was fucking great, this was amazing. And then people are going like, I've never really cared for it, but like, man, that was great. And it's because there are still these fantastic stories going on. And yeah, there are times when it's just dudes hitting each other with shit.
Yeah.
And then there's times when it's two master storytellers being masterful storytellers.
And that's exactly the same as normal wrestling, though, because there's plenty of times where there's just some dudes in a ring fucking throwing shit around doing fucking nothing. You know what I mean? But there are masters in the ring that tell amazing stories. And so it really is a match-by-match basis, and it's wrestler by wrestler. It's not black and white. It's not one or the other. There's plenty of death matches that I'm like, this is boring or whatever. And especially in the past, there has been, using the term garbage wrestlers or whatever, just dudes that are out of shape hitting each other with shit and kind of give people a bad rap and stuff. That's not the case, though, in a lot of promotions. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at Big Japan and Freedoms, if you're looking at ICW No Holds Barred, they're not like letting that shit happen. You know what I mean? They're building promotions, they're building stories, and they've got these amazing hybrid wrestlers that can do a lot of the things that like our New Japan favorites can do and stuff, but they do it in glass. as things hot up. Like Oren Veit, a friend of mine who's been on the show a couple of times and stuff. This guy was in the LA dojo, like in the first class, and he got injured, and he like halfway through and had to sit out while he dealt with his injury, and he had an open.
Is that the Samoa Joe, Brian Danielson dojo class?
No, the new LA dojo, not like the original one, with like Shibata's one. And
gotcha.
So he was there, and he had an open invite to come back, but by that point, when they were getting ready to do the next class and stuff, all his deathmatch stuff was really picking up, and he chose not to go back to New Japan because everything was pumping. He was like doing Japan tours with GCW and stuff already. And he was like, I'm onto something here, and I this is the style I love to do and stuff. And so he didn't go back to New Japan. That's the
he wouldn't have got to do that very often in Japan. In New Japan, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, look how often Despy gets to do it, right? So, but it's kind of the same thing. That's what I'm saying. There's these guys that are crazy talented, but it's all in the story, and it's whether you want to look beyond things to find that, or whether it's just glass, or in standard wrestling, it's just chin locks and stuff, and there's nothing else going on. You know what I mean? So it's up to the fan to watch it and pull what they want out of it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's so many people that are like, this guy's just doing flippy shit. And it's like, it's not just flippy shit.
Yes.
Or this guy's just fucking boring. His matches are boring because all he does, like you said, just a headlock. It's like, it's not though. Yeah. Like that's the same people that talk about how deathmatch is just, it's just people hitting each other with fucking glass, are the same people who say that Jay White's boring because he's not doing any flippy shit, or it's like there's people who will poo-poo someone doing their best to tell a story in their style.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You really just, like you said, you have to pull it out yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes that style's not for you, and that's totally okay. You know what I mean? I think there's things for everybody, and that's what makes wrestling so special. Some people will love the comedy stuff that Yano does. Some people will hate it. Some people will love and admire the work that Zack Sabre Jr. does. Other people will be like, oh, this is that boring, holds guy. That's just the way of wrestling. I just don't really believe in tearing other wrestling down. I just believe in building up the stuff I like. And so, and that's what I would say. And I think this match was so special because it crossed over and made so many people who had historically maybe not been interested or even open to deathmatch stuff going, I could watch more of that. That was pretty awesome. Like you said, your wife was like, I think I like this deathmatch stuff. And I can guarantee if we were all in Japan together and I went, come to this Freedom show or whatever, we'll go to Shinkiba First Ring or whatever, and we'll sit in the front row and get covered in wood chips from broken tables and stuff and glass and stuff, you would have a fucking awesome time. You know what I mean? I've never been to a deathmatch show that every single person in the building is not losing their minds, because there's no breaks. There's no, it's just balls to the wall craziness from the start to finish. And that is what really appeals to me about it, because the adrenaline just builds and builds and builds as the night goes. When it's done well. I mean, there's definitely bad shows out there. And guess what? I turn those shows off, because I'm not interested. I'm like, I don't like the vibe. I don't like what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's finding good stuff, like in anything.
Yeah, definitely. So let's do it this way. If I'm a New Japan fan who watched this show because I'm a Desperado fan, I love El Desperado, and I watched this match and I said, "Fuck, man, deathmatch is cool. Give me some recos, give me some recommendations for other stuff I could check out." Because really, like, the only deathmatch stuff I'll watch is like, I'll go back and watch old Hayabusa matches and shit like that, and like, that's cool shit. Like, exploding cage, death matches and shit like that with the Atsushi Onita. That's like it. That's the highest I go.
Yeah.
Is there some more, not underground stuff, but lesser known stuff that I can check out?
Yeah. Well, we'll just kind of look at Jun Kasai, for example. So he's all over Big Japans and Freedoms and things like that. So anything Jun Kasai you would really enjoy. There's been some definite great stuff that has happened in the past with GCW versus Freedoms and things like that. So you can look those up, Freedoms versus GCW and see stuff. There's actually about to be next month GCW versus, Freedoms again. And you're going to see stuff like, who was it? It's Jun Kasai and Takeda versus Schlack and Effie and stuff like that. So there's some really great stuff coming up very soon. And there's some all-time classics there. Anything that involves Jun Kasai or Masashi Takeda, so that's the crazy monkey is Jun Kasai and the crazy kid is Takeda. That they're amazing. Them versus each other, those guys tag teaming together, those guys doing anything is so good. Yeah, Abdullah Kobayashi is hard to look past. He was the person I saw wrestle for the first time in Japan. Kodaka is crazy. There was a match recently. I forget who he was against. Kodaka. If you put in Kodaka and cinder blocks, you'll see something really fucked up for a start. And then in American stuff, ICW No Holds Barred has been my go-to for so long because it's been the most consistent.
And that's on IWTV?
IWTV, yep. And so when ICW No Holds Barred started, they kind of got going just before COVID, and then they were going to have their second show ever cancelled, and they had to move it to like a parking lot in Atlantic City instead of being in a venue. Like it's outdoors, and stars were made that night. It's just chaotic. It's just like there's apartment buildings. People are like sitting on their, on the roofs and stuff watching, and they're just like fighting in the streets basically. Like they've just got a ring, chains as ropes. People are diving off roofs. It's just like absolutely crazy. And then that really hooked me on American deathmatch wrestling. And because ICW has been so consistent, releasing, shows every couple of weeks, every month or whatever, and things like that, it's been very easy to kind of follow along. And I don't think I'd maybe be as into deathmatch wrestling now if they hadn't existed, because the other stuff's harder to get. You know what I mean? Like anytime you're dealing with Japanese subscription services or finding stuff on YouTube or finding stuff online to stream, it can be challenging. Whereas IWTV, I've already got it, and they're every, like clockwork, ICW comes around and they're doing shows outside. They're doing shows in a barn. They're doing, in different places, and it keeps you really interesting, which is why I'm traveling to go see them next month when they come to Melbourne, which is going to be like really awesome. One thing I would say, though, is if you were trying to find these things and you were wanting to subscribe to any of the overseas services, what would you do, Curtis, to be able to just like pick that up? Because it's not always that easy, right?
Well, it's not always easy because a lot of content that people look for is region locked. Mm-hmm. So like there's a lot of stuff that's available in America that may not be available here in jolly old England.
Mm-hmm. Or jolly young Australia.
Or in Australia, the prisoner continent. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of content that we as humans want to check out that we just can't get because the world's so big. The world's so big. But I have a magical way that I can tell you about to make the world seem a little bit smaller.
Really? What is it?
Yes, I do. It's called NordVPN. And what NordVPN does is they disguise your IP address. So if you want to check out something that's only available in America, what you can do is go onto your NordVPN. You can set your IP address to run through an American channel, and that content unlocked. There it is. Boom, right there. I wanted to watch the movie Morbius the other day.
Okay.
I have a sick fascination with watching shit movies, and I saw that it was on Netflix in America. And so you know what I did? Boop, NordVPN. And then there I was watching Matt Smith be a vampire with Jared Leto.
Yeah, so, if there's one thing I know about you, it's that you like sexy vampires and you do whatever it takes to watch them. So it's good to know that with the click of a button on NordVPN, you can be right there amidst the sexy, sharp teeth bloodiness. Yeah.
Can I tell you that that's not it for NordVPN. NordVPN.
What do you mean that's not it?
It's
enough.
Also offers you security in these trying times. We've all got our credit card numbers and things like that on our phones. Okay. We just it's connected to our Amazon. We're casually, that's that new book that I want. Just let me fucking hit Amazon for that real fast, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. NordVPN will help you out with that. NordVPN can keep your card numbers and things like your passwords safe. And that sort of protection, that same protection, it comes from, I'm sorry, that same content unlocking ability is what protects you, because people can't trace your card numbers, your purchases, your personal information back to where you live, back to what you're doing with that information. Say you're filling out your medical information. No one can
get it. So what
unlock
you're
that medical
essentially
information.
telling me is that with a click of a button, you too can become an incorporeal, sexy internet vampire that moves between worlds and does whatever they want without being touched by human hands.
Yes,
There you
absolutely. Nordvius.
Where are we going with this?
So what I'm going to tell you right now to do is to grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/Nordbius. No, not Nordbius.
That's
Shorts.
not the code. What's the code?
The code is nordvpn.com/shorts to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 1 additional month for free. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. You get a free month to go watch Morbius over and over and over again.
Until your eyes bleed.
Or your neck.
Or your neck bleeds because he comes through the screen just like you want him to. And sexily.
You. He comes. No. He won't come through the screen because he's going to end up in America because you're running American Netflix. He doesn't know where you're at.
Suck it, Norbius.
It saves you from the vampires.
And also turns you into one. Now you're the vampire. The hunted becomes the hunter. There we go. That's amazing.
Beautiful.
There we go. This is the best ad we've ever done. So anyway, we're dickheads for immediately converting those recommendations into an ad, but you get the vibe. Yeah. And also, plus, if you're looking for more like recommendations and stuff, just slide into the DMs. We'll hit you up. There's all sorts of ways you can see fun stuff.
You can go to IWTV. IWTV is a fucking fantastic service because when you go to IWTV, you're paying for the subscription service, right? It's not very expensive, but that money is also going to the people that are featured on IWTV.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. It's like residuals for those people that are putting their bodies on the line for your entertainment. You can't fucking beat that with a stick.
Absolutely.
And they've tried. In Deathmatches, they try to beat you with a stick.
And baseball bats and barbed wire and light tubes and gusset plates and all sorts of things.
Fuck is a gusset plate?
Oh, brother. They are the metal plates that hold together wooden beams on bridges and houses.
I'm making a face at you.
I know, you look shocked.
What?
Looks like you need to watch some more matches.
I'm going to beat you with a bridge?
No, so it's the metal plate that holds together wooden beams. So it's a metal plate about yay big. I don't know. I'm making hands. Nobody can see it. With like steel barbs out of it, and you hammer it into wood, and then you hammer the wood in on the other side, kind of thing. So it like this one. I don't know how to explain this. Just Google gusset plate, and you'll see how bad it is. It'll make you bleed a lot, and you don't want it stabbed in your head, but it does happen.
I love when the skewers. In the head.
Exactly.
It's like a rose. That
was invented in Japan.
Rose blooming.
By an American.
Yeah, it was
Masada.
That's right. I've heard that story about how he did not appreciate John Moxley doing it.
No, I mean, I'm sure he did. It's worldwide publicity for him. And there is glory about there's always hype in pretending you're mad about something because people will talk about it. I'm sure he knows Moxley in real life, but hey, let's stick kayfabe. Yeah, he was super pissed off about it. Nobody asked for his permission. He has historically been pissed off when people use it and they don't know him or ask him about it.
Okay, I was gonna say because Moxley's not the first person I've seen do it.
No, exactly right. There's only a few people that he's sort of given the nod to. Everybody else is gonna get it.
Haters.
Yeah, exactly.
Bunch of haters. All right, man. I think we're good to go. Let's call that because it's 2:30 in the morning.
Absolutely.
And,
This was fun though,
I'm
man.
tired.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed this.
Yes.
I missed you, Rafe.
I missed you too,
I
buddy.
missed your musk.
Thanks
this
to
is over, let's go get
NordVPN,
an
you
apartment
too can
together.
smell the musk of your Australian friend.
Oh no.
Dude, so good hanging out with you. It was fun just to give a little bit of an update on how things are going. I'm definitely not editing all that stuff with the dogs. People are just going to hear it all. And we will be back in a fortnight to do this again. Quickly before
When we come back,
yeah,
we come back, we've got an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match to talk about.
yes,
We've got live reports coming in from Royal Quest via myself.
Yep.
We've got a IWGP US title match that's taking place in about 6 hours.
And don't forget a never tornado tag dog cage no DQ match for the never titles is happening at some point as well.
I would rather sniff Bigfoot's dick than watch. I would rather give a foot job to a chupacabra than watch that shit.
I'm gonna watch it. I reckon
Which means
it's
I'm totally gonna watch it. Dude. It's gonna be great.
I think the only sad part is that they haven't saved it for like a cheering crowd, so it's just gonna be silence as these guys try and put each other in dog cages. Oh god, it's gonna be bad. But yeah, so a lot of things to look forward to. We've got World Tag League just around the corner. I'm sure we'll do a preview episode for that all on its own as we get closer. I'm not gonna make any promises because who knows where our life will be. But it's gonna be a good time, man. I'm pumped for it.
Right on. And as we say hello again to the Okada Shorts program, we have to say good night again to all the beautiful fans who we love, the people who talk to us every day on Twitter and Instagram at Okada Shorts, the people who find our other podcasts, the Faces and Feels cast, where you talk to independent wrestlers and get a side of them that we've never seen before, and the Smark Foundation program, where we talk about classic wrestling matches, and the Throw and Dice podcast, where I talk about nerd games like Warhammer, D&D, and the like, and all the hobby that goes with that. And I'm just talking right over you, man. I'm sorry.
I don't need to say anything, and I fucking love it because that's how I want to live my life. For all those things, you can just check out our link tree, linktr.ee/Okada Shorts. There's links to all that stuff. What is it? It's like, subscribe, rate or die. Is that it? Listen or die?
Oh, wait.
Yep.
Before we do that,
I forgot my own catchphrase.
Count Out Podcast Patreon.
Oh, I thought
where you can. I mean, we have mentioned it once, but I want to actually throw this out there for people. The Count Out Podcast Network is a bunch of great people who we love and appreciate. You're friends with them. I'm friends with them. You, the listener, if you want to be friends with them, check out the Patreon. There's a couple of different tiers. You know, if you find the naive stupidity of us giving away a free show and that business model to be oddly charming, perhaps you'd like to give us gifts of money, and the best way to do that is to go to the Count Out Patreon. There's a couple of different tiers where you can figure out how much you'd like to give, and that money goes to helping out a bunch of great people to do great content for you. What's your favorite kind of wrestling? Count Out Podcast covers that.
Boom.
Okay. You like New Japan? Count Out Podcast Network got you. You like Deathmatch? Count Out Podcast Network got you with Lauren from Your Dose of Death.
I was on Your Dose of Death the other day. That episode will be coming up soon, if it's not already out, which we had a nice time breaking down ICW No Holds Barred's Battle of the Tough Guys.
Battle of the Tough Guys. I fucking love that movie. That's great. It's from No Holds Barred.
Yes. Exactly right.
Yeah, love it.
Exactly.
Aces.
They just pulled it out. But yeah, and there's how to talk to your friends about wrestling. There's Independent Waters. There's
Independent
something
Waters.
for everybody.
I've been on Independent Waters before.
Exactly. We were all over the place.
So next time we should try and
Frankie.
What?
Run in by Frankie. I just heard him snore.
Oh yeah, dude. He's angry snoring because he wants to go to bed.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. Next time we might have a guest on talking about Stardom, because of the official Stardom crossovers start next week.
Oh, well, that sounds like fun, because I know next to nothing about Stardom, and I'm excited to learn more about it. I'm a little bit intimidated because I can't possibly imagine where I could fit in more wrestling into my life. So having the help of somebody that knows a bit about it, they can, give us the rundown before we move into that stuff.
Sleep, add in wrestling. No sleep, more wrestling.
I think less wrestling, more sleep is the way I actually need to go at the moment. Anyway, we know how to do it. Thank you so much for listening.
Come to the Count Out Patreon.
Yeah, go to the Count Out Patreon. Check out all our stuff. NordVPN. And lastly, check out Riff Your Pod. Check out Owen. The banger theme that is about to play was written by him. So you can get yourself your own podcast theme or wrestling intro or whatever you need from him. But until then, it's rate and subscribe. It's listen or die. It's keep it right. It's keep it tight. And most importantly, keep it what?
Short.
Hi guys, this is Lauren, your proud host of Your Dose of Death. Just giving you a little quick tune in to make sure to listen to Your Dose of Death. Each and every single episode, I provide a different lens into the world of deathmatch, whether it be wrestlers, content creators, or anyone in between. Make sure to listen to me each and every single episode to get a different lens into the death. And please, make sure to listen to Your Dose of Death.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.